Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome to day 5 of the 20 by 20 Wellbeing Challenge. Hope you're all well. Your host here, Shamil.
And Assalamu alaikum, this is Shazia. Thank you for being back today and signing in today for yet another riveting session. Like we always say, the theme for this year's Wellbeing Challenge Season 2 is an inspirational thought and quote from Imam Ali, is that you presume you are a small entity, but within you is enfolded the entire universe. And I hope you do find your universe inside of you once we're done with the 20 days. So, what do you think, Uncle Shamil? How's it going? How has it been so far?
So far, it's been amazing. I mean, every single talk embodies exactly the quote that we have.
Absolutely.
It's going exactly with it, explaining to us how we can understand the universe that we have inside us. I mean, we started with day 1, Brother Hussein Charara talking about look within you.
Yes.
Day 2, Brother Zainari taught us a bit about movement.
Yeah.
And how that can help our bodies.
Yes.
Day 3 was
Sister
Sarah,
Bukhari,
all about sukoon.
Sukoon, peace,
You know,
and
that was
finding,
another very good session.
and connecting to the divine. And then yesterday we had Sister Shirin with us in the studio, who spoke about relationships. And I think finding all of this and knowing yourself, as we say, we have to cover every aspect of our lives, every aspect of our mental well-being, which is why we are presenting to you different topics when it comes to well-being and mental health. And I think that's very crucial.
Exactly. I mean, even you'll see the connection with today's talk and yesterday's talk and the previous. So inshallah, we're looking forward to it, and we hope you all are. As always, there's many people to thank, but we can keep on thanking, and it just won't be enough. But a big thank you to all of you who log in here every single day. We've had many messages from people asking change of times. It just doesn't work that way. Inshallah, we'll see how we do it in the future. But we've been sending the recordings. But we just like to tell everyone we're now working on getting all the recordings together, and inshallah, we'll post them either towards the end or after. Yeah,
exactly.
So please, we encourage everyone, come on live. Ask your questions. Be there with the speakers themselves.
Yes, because I mean, this is an opportunity that isn't granted this much, and so often. So I think any question, whether you may feel it's a simple question or it's a complicated one, please feel free to ask. We are here to answer those questions, and the speakers are specifically here to raise concerns and answer all of your questions.
Exactly. And inshallah, all those people who want to reach out, you feel anything, we've been saying it every single day, but especially for those who are in Dubai, we have an email address for the Wellbeing team. It's KSIMC. KSIMC.
Be well at KSIMC.
All right. There's too many things in my head. But it's what's the email address?
It's bewell@ksimcdubai.com.
And the WhatsApp number is 04-398-2121.
Yes,
thank you.
He's more of a numbers person. I'm more of a words person.
Fantastic. All right, so we're almost time to get in our speaker. Let's see the profile of our speaker for tonight. Someone special, someone who's part of the Wellbeing Challenge, Sister Doureine Hiridjee. Sister Doureine's journey began after she became a mother of 3 and realized she lacked the tools she needed to fulfill her motherly duties entrusted to her by Allah. Working in parallel with managing her family asset portfolio, she began her unique journey into the miraculous world and relationship of the divine and the self. Sister Doureine is now a dedicated mindset and life coach with a passion of empowering women to find their best selves, particularly in relationships. She draws upon her background in NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, the coaching in that, hypnotherapy, and relationship meditation or mediation. Her coaching approach focuses on creating a safe space and finding alignment and setting goals to create a roadmap for a more sustained life fulfillment. If you see her topic today, it is a follow on from yesterday, and it's going to be a powerful one as well. The topic is communication, the real human connection. Sister Doureine.
Can you see me?
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.
Wa
Assalamu
alaikum salam. Wa alaikum salam. I'm so honored to be here and to meet you both. By the way, that's not my house. It's just the background in case you're wondering. There's a huge piano there, but that's the only background I found last minute. So forgive me.
Subhanallah, the floor is all yours. 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 The floor is all yours.
Excellent. Well, thank you very, very much, Brother Shamil. And I didn't catch your name. Is it Sister?
Shazia.
Shazia, excellent. Thank you so much for having me today. So today, as Brother Shamil said, the topic is communication. And I love how you guys said that all the topics are super interrelated, because actually, all roads lead to Rome, right? There's so many different ways of getting to know that universe within you, and absolutely related to yesterday's topic as well, the relationships that you just mentioned. And actually, communication in this is actually super duper important, because it's the key to a real connection. Now, I would like to share my slides, and I want to know how to do that. Is it just press on present? Is that correct?
Yes. Can we please give her access
to her slides?
Yeah. How do I just upload it, or?
Share should be the option of share screen, yeah?
Okay, I can see it now. Okay, now I can see it. Thank you very much. Yeah. Absolutely. So like I said earlier, communication, the real human connection. So when Brother Shamil came to me this morning, and sorry about the last minute, I kind of put together something that can be relevant for a 20-minute talk. And I was thinking, what is it that's that real connection that we're talking about? What is it that's really that deep connection that I can actually talk about today? And the first story came to my mind was one day my husband came home and he said to me, did Ilyas Ali tell you what happened at school today? Ilyas Ali is my son. And I said, no, what happened? And he went on about some incident that happened at school and what had happened. And I was really shocked. And I was like, no, he did not tell me anything. And so I was really disturbed that my son didn't come and tell me, but he went and told my husband about it. And I had just had my now 7-year-old, my daughter, and it really bothered me for a while, thinking, my son is there, he's got issues at school, but he's not coming to talk to me. And it really got to me thinking, what is it that my son didn't have at the time that he didn't feel he could come to me? And I got thinking, at first I was a little bit upset, I was a bit unaware, I was upset. And then I got thinking that why is it my son didn't come to his mother? He had to feel like he could go to his father, but not to me. And actually what had happened is that I had completely lost connection with him. And there was a connection, there was a communication on a daily basis, but there wasn't a connection between me and him. And at least not from my side. So he actually didn't feel safe enough to come and talk to me. And he didn't feel like there was that there was a gap between me and him, that he didn't feel that he could come and talk to me. And that really made me think that I wasn't actually providing him with a communication level, or a level of communication where he actually felt that he could feel connected to me, like he could feel like he could come and talk to me. And that's the connection that I really wanted to talk about. And it just kept when the connection keeps breaking, even on the internet, even, the message doesn't quite go right. When we have a connection problem with the internet, we catch one word, we don't catch two words. So the connection, the communication of the message has been lost, right? So there are two types of connection that I want to share with you today. So the first one is called a transactional communication. There's two types of communication. The first one is a transactional communication, and the second one is that connective communication. So a transactional communication is what we have on a daily basis when we go to the supermarket and we transact with the lady. Hi, how are you? Okay, thanks. Petrol station, these kind of very superficial communication. And that's the communication I was having with my son. It was very transactional. Go and flush the toilet. Have you eaten your dinner? Your room is a mess. Why don't you go and spend some time in your room to get it done? And it was a and I wasn't really thinking about how he was experimenting that, my message to him, but clearly it was a very transactional one. Whereas a connective communication is one where the message really lands, that, that there is a, as if we see, for example, in the spine and how the various parts of the bodies are transmitting that message to your brain, there is a connection. As you can see, the spine is that connection, that, the messages are going up the spine and giving that communication or that message so that everything connects and everything works properly. And I guess from my side is that spine was broken, that communication was broken, and the connection wasn't landing. So it wasn't reaching him. What I was, the love I wanted to give him wasn't there. The words I was speaking wasn't really reaching him, because he was just seeing someone just at him all the time, telling him what to do, criticizing him, perhaps even. Obviously, I've just had my third one at the time. So as you can imagine, mom of three, very busy with doing this and doing that, as we are. And I realized that the one ingredient that I wasn't giving him, which is where there's a difference between connection and communication, is being present with him. I wasn't actually there. So my body was there. I was cooking dinner. I was changing nappies. I was doing this and that. But I wasn't here. I was everywhere and nowhere, And so, whereas my husband, on the other hand, he was very much there. He was sitting on the floor, building blocks with him, or really listening to him, hearing him. And that actually connected them together and actually disconnected me, creating a bigger gap and a bigger bridge between us. So that's that was that. So when you build a connection with somebody, you're actually building something together with that person. It's like building a house or building a town, or there's different blocks that come together, but it needs to connect, right? So you're building something together, and that's connected communication. You're creating that warmth between you and the other people in your life. And with that, you're creating a rapport with someone, with that genuine intention. Because guess what? In every communication, in every connection, there has to be an intention. Now, I use the word intention intentionally on purpose, and not an agenda. So there's a massive difference between having an intention and having an agenda. So when you have an intention to connect and to build, your energy that you're bringing to that connection will be completely different. Now, if we think about why connection is important, connection is important for all human beings because it really gives us a sense of togetherness, a sense of belonging. We are all one ummah, like we said, right? Like we are all one. We have that oneness, that oneness that connects us together as human being, with obviously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being at the source of it. So so that oneness is that connection, and that's why we need it as a human being. We need to be connected to one another. And so that was it. So even in like in the Quran, for example, Allah is showing us different ways where he's connecting with us. Well, to begin with, he's actually created our body in a way. He's given us a sensory map. As you can see, we receive information in a different way. We receive it through our eyes, alhamdulillah, through our ears, through the different parts of our body, as you can see. And obviously, Sister Shireen talked about the love languages yesterday. So that basically encompasses all of that. What works for us? What are the windows to our soul? So the eyes are the windows to our soul. The ears are windows to our souls. And so all of these ways, Allah has actually enabled us with limbs and body parts so that we're able to communicate, we're able to exchange, because communication is that exchange that we're having. So in the Quran, Allah actually deals with some of this. So for example, we talked about the universe in Imam Ali's hadith. He's created the universe. And if you think about the universe, it's actually a visual map of who he is, right? So he knows, because he's created us, that we're visual. So he's created a sort of a canvases for us in the shape of trees and, universe and the sea and all of the beauties that he's created for us, is so that we can use the sensory filter to experience that. He's, created food for us to taste, for example. So these are all kind of ways that we communicate and connect with each other. But really, the way that we can connect better with each other, starting with the people in our household, being our spouses, our parents, our children, is, like I said earlier, the first thing is to have that presence in the moment. And what I mean by presence in the moment is really giving that special time, that special energy where you are completely focused and you are totally detached from all the distractions, basically. So it's kind of, if I gave you an example, a few years ago, we went on a holiday, my husband and I, and we, we're spending the day together. We're going out, we're doing this, we're doing that. And then at night, I was like, Sam, you're not spending enough time with me. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm with you the whole day. How much more time of mine do you want? And actually, what I was meaning is that I wanted his energy. It wasn't his time I wanted. It was his energy that I required. So even if he, and then we obviously talked about it, but even if he brought, I was saying that I just need you to just be with me, like leave the phones, leave the books, leave everything, and let's just, connect. And that's what I mean by taking away the distractions, even if it's 20 minutes. So 20 minutes of connected communication is better than a whole day of untransactional communication. So that's what I mean by the presence in the moment. And that's also what I was lacking when I was when I was not communicating with my son 7 years ago. This was before I was self-aware. So self-awareness is the second way that we can communicate better with our loved ones. So really being mindful of the linguistic that we use, because actually communication is made out of 3 elements. If we were to kind of just summarize, there's 55% is the body language, 38% is your voice and your tonality, your tone, the way that your voice is, and only 7% is actually the spoken words. But even if it's only 7%, it is a very important part, because it really does complete that communication element. And to be honest, sometimes you say words, but you don't mean it. And so your body language will give you a different information, but your words will give you a different information. So the person that you're communicating or trying to connect with, they're seeing this disconnection or this misalignment. So that's why everything is a whole. It needs to be taken together. But why I'm more interested in the words in this particular case is because the linguistic element is the messages that your subconscious mind is receiving from you. And again, to kind of illustrate that as an example, when I was still a new mother, I was using a lot. I was using the word try a lot. I'm going to try. I'll try and do this. Can you do that for me? I'll try. And this word try, I didn't realize, but it was actually giving myself a loophole into not doing that thing. And so it wasn't until I became aware of those words that I was using that I realized, no wonder I'm not getting anything done. I just keep trying. I'm not actually doing anything. So when I change my linguistic to doing, for example, okay, I'll do my best. Now that's it. I'm doing it. I've told myself, I've told my subconscious mind, I've told the back of my mind that that's it. I'm going to get this done. And there is no loophole. There's no window out. There's no way out. It's got to get done. That really changed my life. And now my kids are also picking that up. And when my daughter comes to me and says, Mama, I did my best. And I feel so proud because from a young age, we are training the children to be very aware of the words that they use. And so already, or my son would say, Mama, I'll try. Sorry, I'll do my best. And that in itself is that self-awareness coming together. That's just one example, but obviously there are many other examples like that, for example, the things that I'm too old, that those belief systems we've given ourselves, talking to ourselves in a way, I'm too old. I am how I am. I'm not going to change. This is how I am. So these kind of linguistic that we're sometimes not even aware of, it just comes out of habits, actually makes it that we're not able to connect with people. And the third one is just the mindfulness of how you deliver. How do you deliver the message? Because how do you know how to deliver a message? Obviously, there's the love languages that the Sister Shireen spoke about yesterday. But actually, the Quran, funnily enough, when I researched about this, the Quran is giving us so many tips and so many clues on how to do it. For example, in Surah Isra, he says Qawlan Kareem, which means the noble word. Use noble words. And that really connected me straight to the Prophet thing. Oh yeah, he was of the noble character. So I was thinking, great. So we need to model that, Again, in Surah Al-Azhab, in Ayat 7, he says Qawlun Sadid, which means speak to the point. So don't have agendas. As I was saying at the beginning, agendas is quite negative, whereas intention is very sort of the other side of the coin. So have a clear communication, crystal clear, so clear that you can see through. Don't have muddied sort of agendas, or have that openness and that transparency in your communication, so that there's no ambiguity. You're removing everything that's doubtful, that's ambiguous from your communication. I mean, there's so many mentions of the word, the way you speak. Qawlan layyina, gentle speech, he says in Surah Taha. Qawlan baligha, which means penetrating words. So words of insight. So basically what we're doing in this 2020 challenge, which is inspire and being insightful. Qawlan maysura, he mentions it many times. Easy words, easy words and gentle words, again with clarity. Qawlan ma'rufa, I mean, I can go on and on, but he talks about qawlan ma'rufa, which means the honorable word, or the proper saying, or the words of appropriate kindness. So he uses this in Surah 2, in the second surah, in the context of marriage. How many of us have words that we use that we're not aware of, that we know triggers the other person, but we know, but we don't really know. And so again, that's that. And there's so many examples like that the Quran has actually given us, in the form. If you notice, the Quran is in the form of words. So in the form of words, Allah has given us actually the answers of communication, of effective connection, even, and in different areas of life. He talks about children and women, and again talking with justice and kindness. I mean, we can go on and on, but these were just some of the examples. And in terms of being self-aware, now the question is, how do I get self-aware, right? How do I become self-aware? There's so many ways of becoming self-aware, one of which is attending such a challenge. For example, the 2020 challenge, which really brings awareness. So really getting informed, getting the knowledge that you need. And, for example, there's certain things in life that you don't know, but you don't know that you don't know it. It's just never going to be it's your blind spots. Then there's certain things where you've informed yourself of, but now you know what you don't know. So now you're becoming a little bit more aware. Now you're taking, now the light is kind of penetrating your heart a little bit, where you're like, you know what, it's not that much of a blind spot anymore. I've shed some light on this. I've received some guidance on this, but it's still not transpiring in my life. And then obviously, there's a whole level of what you don't know, what you don't know, basically. So basically, the other ways to do it is to get somebody. For example, Imam Ali says that there's a hadith that says that a mu'min is a mirror of another mu'min. So get another mu'min to really help you bring that awareness. Is what I'm saying actually making sense? So ask your husbands or ask your children, am I actually helping you in your life? Am I adding any value, or am I taking away? And, hopefully if it's done with curiosity, with kindness, with compassion, they'll tell you, actually, you know what? That thing you said, the thing you keep saying about, me, the words you keep using when you refer to me, it really is degrading. It's really hurting me, or it really brings pain to me. And these are the types of things that you can do to kind of start connecting, to being aware, being self-aware of the words that you're using. And in the NLP, which is a neuro-linguistic element, linguistic is a very important part of how you communicate with another person. So absolutely being aware is paramount in this. And obviously, I always take this example of being above the line. Being above the line is literally, in any communication, as I was saying before, having that curiosity, taking ownership of the words that come out of your mouth, taking ownership of an accountability and responsibility of what you're saying, what is coming out of you, to be really connected to that person, rather than having this mindset of blaming. It's not my fault. I'm right, but you're wrong, for example. So again, these kind of languages you use, you'll notice straight away, hopefully after this conversation, when you speak to a person next, you'll see the words that you're using. Are you in the blame? Are you making excuses? And straight away you'll be like, oh, I'm below the line. I'm making myself a victim. Or are you saying, do you know what? I could have said that differently. Let me rephrase that. Do you know what? I can see where I've gone wrong. And that will bring you straight above the line, which is really going towards that best self, towards that connection. That will help you connect with people in a way that you've never been connected before. It'll really help you connect with yourself in a way that you've never connected before. And of course, it will help you connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you've never connected with before, because actually that is the connection that we're aiming for. That is the connection that we intend to have. And that is when we go up like towards victory, that is us showing our best self, our nafs al-mutma'inna. So I hope this has been helpful to all of you today. And thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, feel free.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, Sister Doureine. That was absolutely amazing. I mean, just to understand the different types of communication, what is required in communication,
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
fascinating. Yeah.
Yes, and we have lots of questions that are going to be asked during the Q&A. So stay with us. But for now, we're going to move on to the Kahoot. And before we start the Kahoot, we're going to show the leaderboard today.
Yeah. So we've had how many days?
This
3
is day
days.
5, yes. So
Day
3
5.
days of the
Kahoot.
Kahoot.
Because day 1 we had an issue. So day 2, 3, and 4.
Exactly. So can we have the leaderboard on?
Okay, so it's been neck to neck.
Yeah,
it's past
it
this
always
finger
is.
press.
It always is.
There we go.
Yes, we have in first place Atika with 14,920 points. In second place, we have Zara Juma in 14,612 points. And in third place, we have Sister Sayeda with 14,578 points.
That's the rest of the people up to 23rd place. And continue. There's still everything to go for in the next upcoming days. 15 more days to go.
Yes, and
But great. I think
and
now
it
we move.
changes and fluctuates.
Yeah,
so
it keeps on
much.
changing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Sister Zara Juma was there from last year.
Ah,
yeah?
yes. She was
Interesting.
my competitor last year. And it's good to see you again, Sister Zara. But best of luck to everyone. The scores are added up every single day. So even if you don't win for that time, for today, it'll still be added up. So we have our Kahoot, and the game pin is 4280463. So we're going to give a few seconds of, and you guys can log in. Please log in with your full names.
You know, I've been telling a lot of people, almost quite a few people have been messaging and saying that when are you sharing the video? When are we sharing the YouTube recording? And I'm trying to get everyone on live because this is where we can make the most of it.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are working, the IT guys are working in the background to get us the videos ASAP. Those will be posted, inshallah. But come on live, participate live, and speak to the speakers directly.
Yes. And I must say, a live event is not easy to plan and execute, but we do try our best. And I do hope all of you log in and just spend at least 45 minutes of your day trying to learn something new or anything, or take anything from what the speakers are talking about, because that is our intention.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we'll give it another
15
minute.
seconds. Yeah.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
Yes, so just to remind everyone, the game pin is 4280463. Please log in with your exact name that you've been using every single day. It makes it easier to tally up the scores. And I think another 10 more seconds.
Yes.
So, as we've said before, I mean, we've got the comment section on the YouTube. Please type in your questions so that we can ask maximum of the questions to Sister Doureine, and you can get your questions answered. Otherwise, we're enjoying ourselves because we've got a ton of questions as well.
We sure do, and we ask as many as we can. But yes, please do put in your questions, and I think we're ready to start. Yeah.
Yep.
I think
Okay.
we're ready to start. Okay. Are we ready? Day 5. The Kahoot quiz. Question number 1. How much communication is via your words? Is it 10%? Is it 7%? Is it 8%? Or is it 12%? I think many know this answer already.
That was a very interesting split of communication
Yes,
shared
yes.
in the slides. Must say I was quite surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. The answer is 7%.
Fantastic. Okay, question number 2. What are the two types of communication? Is it transactional and, it's one word missing there, communicative, responsive and reactive, aggressive and impulsive, conducive and repetitive? So I'll tell you, transactional and communicative needs to be together. Second option is responsive and reactive. Third is aggressive and impulsive. Fourth is conducive and repetitive. Yes, the correct answer is transactional and communicative. I think Kahoot jumped one of the options to the other side.
Well done. Question number 3. What is one of the key ingredients of connective communication? Is it A, absence, B, connection, C, presence, or D, presence?
Giving presents also is a a good form of
I
connective communication.
love presents. Quite confusing there.
All right, 3 seconds to go.
And yes, it's C, presence. Good job to
Fantastic,
everyone.
excellent. All right, question number 4. What do you need to be able to change your communication style? Is it acceptance? Is it belief? Is it awareness? Or is it a good teacher? Remember, the question is to change your communication style. Yeah? I think almost everyone's got this. Yes, the correct answer is most definitely awareness.
Question number 5. What is the word Allah uses in the Quran for crystal clear communication? Is it qawlan ma'rufa? Is it qawlan baligha? Is it qawlan karima? Or is it qawlan sadida?
Yeah, beautiful words from the Quran.
Absolutely. It's qawlan sadida.
Okay, and the final question from our daily activity. How many minutes was the activity for day 5? Was it 3 minutes? Was it 7 minutes? Was it 5 minutes? Or was it 10 minutes?
This one I must say is confusing.
So those who have the calendar in front of them, printed, stuck up on the wall.
Yes, they should be. We should all be doing the activities.
And one more second. Yes, the correct answer is most definitely 5 minutes.
Well done to everyone. And we have in third place Ali.
Brother Ali Gotsian.
We have in second place Sister Zara Juma. And in first place we have Brother Abbas. Well done to everyone. And we'll see you tomorrow for the next Kahoot. We still have a Q&A session right now.
Okay, I think we can invite Sister Doureine back.
Yes, and please, if you have any questions, put them in the comment section of YouTube so we can read out your comments and they can be answered ASAP.
Sister Doureine, are you there?
I'm here, yep.
Okay, perfect. I think the questions are coming in. It was a beautiful session on communication and so much to take away, so much to learn. I think even the visuals were very good. They explained everything very well. I think one of the first questions we can ask.
Yes, we have a question. 55% of communication and energy is body language. How do we convey body language in texts, emails, or voice calls? I think this is a very important question for our generation and you know, because of technology and stuff.
Absolutely. I think that's an excellent question. So obviously we have, the emojis, we have GIFs and things like that we can use, which I know I use a lot, especially when I want to make sure my communication is crystal clear and not being taken the wrong way, for example. The other thing as well is, actually, I know that sometimes, and I think we found that a lot, that through text messages, people have a lot of misunderstandings and a lot of, because what I've understood of a word, somebody else is understanding something completely different. So it comes down to two things: your energy in a text. I know it sounds really sort of wishy-washy, but it's really not. It's when you type a message with the best of intention, with that sort of positive energy in it, that, you know what, I want to build something with this person. I want to build a connection with this person. And that energy actually transpires. Believe it or not, it really does transpire. Somebody can read that message with my energy that I've transmitted, and they can actually tell this person means well. This person really wanted to convey a positive message to me. So that removes the element of doubt as well in that person. And I think the third thing I would say is just make sure that you are clear in your words, and being aware of what you're saying. Don't, especially in text messages, a lot of the time we're very reactive because, we have so much happening. I want to reply to this, I want to reply to that person, I want to just get it done. I know I've done that a few times where I'm just getting to the point, but then that could be like, well, she didn't say hello to me and she didn't say something, but it's like, being aware that, I'm speaking to this person. I know the history of this person. I know how they're going to take it. I know so I'm going to make more of an effort with that person. So it depends on the relationship as well that you have with each person. But always remember, I think, and that is what I'm taking away from the Quran, is to have noble words, because noble words can never be taken in the wrong way. Noble words can never be taken in any other way than in a noble way. So I guess just make sure that the words you're using, no matter how busy you are, no matter how many things you have going on, this is one thing that you don't want to do, is to hurt somebody. So just being very mindful of what is it you're writing. Even if you have to delete and rewrite. I know I've done that. I don't know for you, but you write and then you delete a few words and you rewrite and delete it. So if you have to do that until you get to a point where you're starting to build a habit of just speaking nicely to just everyone.
Yes, absolutely. And I think when you're already in the middle of a misunderstanding, try to avoid texting. It's better to have a phone call. Uncle Shaman, you had a question.
Yes. So I was listening while you were speaking, Sister Doureine, and you mentioned about having awareness. Now, when we're on the musalla, for example, talking to Allah, or when we go for ziyarah, we're so aware and we're so alert and we're so in the moment that we actually even many times choose our words carefully. But when we're around people that we meet every single day, that awareness is not always there. I mean, you see someone that your relative, your family member, it's just, you'll speak what comes to you. How do we control that? How do we better that?
So I'm glad you corrected yourself by better it rather than control, because I think control sometimes is the issue, isn't it? I think that definitely we can't control anything. Allah, it's about navigating. I would, again, being aware of the words that we speak. It's about navigating. The issue sometimes we have is that we separate religion from life. We think religion is in a certain place at certain times of the day, but actually religion starts from the day you wake up. In fact, even at night, I think there's a hadith of the Prophet that says that at night when I sleep, my heart is open. Even if my mind is closed, my heart is always open. So, there is no time for religion. It's all the time. So I guess the question that we need to ask ourselves is, when I am with the person that I love the most, my husband, wife, kids, parents, whoever, what is it that connects me to them? And actually, what connects me to them is Allah. Okay, that is the connection. Allah is what connects me to that person. And therefore, when I'm going to say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim every time I start something, Allah's reminding me to always bring that compassionate element of his attributes, which are within me, in this connection I'm about to have. So always remembering that the people that are in your household, they are actually also representatives of Allah. They are for you to be to doing ibadah. It's a form of ibadah to connect with people. So just bringing that awareness to the fact that what gave me this person is Allah. No, what this person is in front of me thanks to Allah. So bringing that connectedness through Allah is the first thing I would say into bringing the awareness back into it. Obviously, saying things like Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim will bring you straight back into line, right? It's like you can't go wrong when you say Bismillah. There's no way you're going to do something wrong or say something wrong in the wrong way. And I think the other thing is just doing the work on yourself, speaking to people, speaking to coaches, therapists, whoever that you need to speak to say, why is it that this person that I love so much, I'm treating that person badly? When the person outside the house, I treat them like a king. You know, what is it in me? And there's a lot of, reason that could be behind these kind of behaviors, that it could come from childhood and different other reasons, obviously. But it's really trying to understand, what is it about this person that I value the most? What is it that I can do to make that person feel special? Because I love her at the end of the day. So if I'm rejecting her or him, it's because there's something there that needs to be repaired, that needs to be fixed, basically. So yeah.
Absolutely. I had a question about this. What happens when we keep everything inside and we don't communicate our feelings, especially when we are upset with something, or we are upset about how a person spoke to us, whether this is in any relationship. And then we keep it so bottled time and time again, just because we say we're keeping the peace. Yeah, in a household, how destructive, if at all, is it for, or detrimental, just not only for the person keeping it in, but also for the environment?
Yeah. Excellent question, actually. And I remember when I was really, really young, I had this beautiful aunt who always told us, once you get married, it's like being in a pressure cooker. Never open the pressure cooker. She used to tell me that. And I actually really did believe that, because back in the days, that's how they used to live. And that was serving them at the time. It was, you don't open up. The pressure cooker, as long as it's closed, you're good. This is what she used to tell us all. And this is the belief system that she actually grew up in. And she was trying to impart us that. But obviously, with time, we've realized that pressure cooker, when it explodes, like, it splatters everywhere. Literally, it's disastrous for a lot of reasons, and on a lot of people as well. So I would say that what you've described is like being in a pressure cooker, and we know when the pressure rises, it's not a good thing, because what happens is that you end up in a situation where you're lashing out, you're overflowing of emotions, you're overflowing of unfortunate toxicity, and it's not conducive to a good connection. And that is why even our body needs a lot of physical releases for that reason as well, because it needs to bring new things in. So that release system, that recycling system is important, especially from an emotional perspective, because it's only when you start dealing with your emotion and really noticing them and actually trying to understand them, that you can actually move forward in your life, move forward in your relationships. There are women who have reached the end of their lives, in their 70s and 80s, and they're still in that conflictual, within, and conflict with other people, and they just haven't been able to to actually connect as such with anyone or everyone, because of that, what you've just said, keeping it all in. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that it is a belief system that is limiting us. We need to know that it's definitely not serving us anymore. There are times when it's good to do that. Obviously, I'm not saying you should go and just go and talk about, just being able to navigate. I always take the comparison of being in a boat and being the captain of your boat. And when there's a storm, you know how to navigate that boat. When the weather is beautiful and the sun is shining and the water is nice and clear, and you can enjoy that as well. So really being able to navigate that is important. Being able to talk about it will help you with that. And that's what I was saying, having another mu'min being a mirror of you to help you with that. So yes, being able to share that.
Beautiful. And just to add on to that, Sister Doureine, I mean, someone you meet at the mosque who's struggling and going through something very deep, and they don't really open up. Their communication with you is very transactional, as you said at the start.
Yeah.
Yes, from their body language you can tell something is wrong, but you can't always tell. I mean, in front of others, maybe they'll put on a good front. How do we actually know someone is communicating that they need help, if they are,
Yeah.
Maybe someone within our family as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's very difficult when we go through a situation where we know somebody is actually going through a hard time, but there's nothing you can do because they haven't actually communicated that to you. And I would say that obviously we know we can't really control anyone else, and we can influence, but we can't really force that person. It really does need to come from them. But I guess what we could do as a person is being really approachable, really being in a sort of a very, let me know, let's go for coffee, or I'm here if you need to phone, or just text and say, it's just remembering you. Just being in a very curious, approachable mindset and energy. I really believe that a lot of it is to do with energy. I know Shamil and myself, when we spoke this morning, the energy was amazing, was flowing.
Full of energy.
Sorry?
Full of energy, yeah.
Full of energy. And really, I think that's what communication is the energy that you bring with you in a communication. And always, if we look at, because obviously we don't know how to do this thing, we're learning it from other people. And the best of people are the Ahlul Bayt and obviously Allah through the Ahlul Bayt. And we see how they've done it. They've literally just been ready to be approached, Come to me, saluni qabl an tafqiduni. Come, ask until I'm not there anymore. So really being in that receptive mode. I'm here. My energy is that of helping and that of sharing. If you need anything, come to me. But without saying the words, just kind of being there. And then that step has to be taken from or by them. As long as you've done your best on your side, there's nothing more you can do in that way. We have to leave it to them to then make the step, because everyone goes through a journey, and sometimes you feel they're not ready, and when that time comes, they will be ready.
I think it's great that you keep mentioning energy, because I feel like it's very, very crucial to talk about energy more, because the energy that you come with, for example, when you're coming from work, and then you come with that energy into the house, and then it spreads. And I have read recently 2-3 times that stress is contagious, and the fact that itself is like when you're in a constant mood, or even when you're not showing it physically, you're doing the actions of being there, but you're not present, right? So how do you think we can change our energies? Because not everyone has a good day. Yeah. How do we maintain that we don't, especially when it comes to children, we're not forcing our energy onto them? How important is that?
Yeah, I think look, at the end of the day, we're humans and we do go through ups and downs. That's what makes us human. So really just being accepting of the fact that, look, sometimes I do have bad days, and that's okay. That doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make me a horrible person. It just makes me a human. Thank the Lord for that. And just kind of accepting and being in a curious sort of compassionate state when you talk about yourself and think about yourself, and not judging yourself, thinking, you know, oh my God, my children's not going to get it from me because I'm no. So I would say that's the first thing, is really just being compassionate to yourself, that I've just had a bad day. My boss shouted at me, and that's fine. So the second thing I think would be that when you come home and when you are in that state of stress, like you said, really sort of, and of course it's like a stacking work. It's something that you build towards. It doesn't just happen in one day. It's something that you kind of do to the point where one day it's going to become an automatic reaction. But while you're working at it, it's just really noticing that there's resistance. When you feel there's resistance between you and your children, or you and somebody else in your house, you start thinking and noticing, I don't like this. I don't like the way I'm being here. I don't like this what's happening here. And having that noticing muscle, because it is a muscle at the end of the day, it's taking yourself away to say, you know what, I just need 10 minutes of time to just recenter myself and ground myself back. Whatever that thing is, whether that means you do some yoga, body gymnastic, duas, tasbih, drinking water. That's why we have the hadith, stand up and go drink water, for example. These are the things that actually our Prophet had already talked about a long time ago. We never understood, but now I see you changing your physiology. That really helps release that. Go and drink some water, because, you know, water has all those energies. And also we are made out of water. So, you know, it just aligns us to the water element. And doing little things that will break the pattern a little bit, that will just break you away from that I call it the zombism, you know, being in that zombie mode, like breaking you away, snapping you out of it, and thinking, you know what, now I'm not at work anymore. I'm not on the street where I had a fight with this drunk driver or whatever. I'm here. I want to bring myself here. My children are here, and I want to have a good evening. And really seeing the cup half full, and saying, look, the cup is half empty, but you know what? It's also half full. So I'm going to build from that. I'm going to build from the cup being half full, and make the most of it. And just really that time for yourself to take yourself away from the situation, recenter, ground, and then come back is one way of not making the stress a contagious thing, where the smile becomes contagious. You know, I was in madrasa this Sunday, and I said to the kids, what is the one thing that we all need to wear today? Okay, we have a scarf, we have this, what are we wearing? So they were like, we're going to wear a smile. And everybody was beautifully smiling. And suddenly the kid who was not smiling, he looked at the other kids who were smiling, and suddenly you see a smile on his face. So actually, again, changing your physiology makes it contagious as well. So I don't know if I'm
smiling. No. Smiling is definitely contagious. In fact, it's one of our activities to smile more. So thank you so much, Sister Doureine, for that, and the tips that you have given, and your presentation, the beautifully visualized presentation. I'm sure everyone really understood it, because visually we understand more.
Definitely.
What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sorry about that. Absolutely. I mean, we take away so much from hearing you and seeing something. And I think it was just so perfect how it fit in with yesterday's relationship and today understanding how to communicate better. For many people who want to reach you, Sister Doureine, we're going to be sharing out your Insta handles, and inshallah they can reach out to you. That's all the time we have for today. We could go on and on. I still have quite a few questions, but unfortunately, that's the time we have for today. But once more, we can't thank you enough for firstly standing up last minute and, you know, accepting my call to come on the challenge. We're ever so grateful for that. But you're 100% part of our 20 by 20 Wellbeing Challenge family. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Excellent. So we're on to now the time where we see the book for the day.
Yes, and before that, we have the well-being activities as well. We could put it up so that people can see. Yes, and what do we have for tomorrow, day 6?
So read a few pages of a book.
Of a book,
Could
yes.
be one of the books that you've been mentioning.
Probably, and I do hope that it is helping some people. Okay, so as always, I'm going to be recommending a book, and today I'm recommending the book Ikigai, which is a very famous book actually when it comes to well-being. It's Ikigai is a Japanese word that it's a concept that means you're learning your purpose in life. And I think that also reflects a lot in Islam, the purpose in life and your reason for being. So the excerpt I have is knowing that everything is temporary should not be depressing. Rather, it should inspire us to cherish the here and now and the people around us. And I think that's very important. And it also goes with communicating, relationships,
Absolutely.
and finding your own universe within yourself.
It hits home that, be in the moment, live in the moment. Yeah.
Live in the moment. Yes.
Fantastic. And that's all the time we have for today. Alhamdulillah, it's getting better, the stream. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
But a big thank you to our IT team behind who have been working very hard to make sure the experience for you is very good. But like we always say, we'll see you back again tomorrow for a very, very interesting talk with a
very familiar face.
Yeah.
I must say.
So we're not giving away anything.
No, not yet.
Yeah. So we'll see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. And with that, we say good night, God bless, and goodbye.